Coronavirus crisis continues to worsen in China in the meantime. The death toll there has risen to 563, with more than 28,000 people now infected. China is reportedly considering postponing its annual legislative meeting because of the outbreak.
The National People's Congress meets every March to pass legislation and to unveil key economic targets. To curb the spread of the virus, many Chinese cities are urging people to stay indoors. In Beijing, some businesses are closed and restaurants have been told not to accept reservations for parties.
In Nanchang, residents have been told to assign only one family member to go out once every 2 days. Now, it's currently China's peak return travel season following the New Year holidays, of course, and the heavy human traffic could increase the spread of this virus. And as several airlines have suspended all flights to China, officials are estimating that the peak return period could last longer.
Our correspondent Lynette Lim is monitoring developments as she joins us now. Lynette, millions returning home from the holidays. What kind of precautions are being taken?
Well, of course, the authorities are also stressing that, unlike previous years, the peak travel flow this year won't be as heavy due to the virus situation. In fact, since the 29th of January, there has been registered daily 13 million passengers, and that's down more than 80% from the previous year. Still, the government announced precautions and measures that they were taking. One, to make sure that vehicles and transport hubs are disinfected, ventilated and sanitized. Two, to strengthen controls on temperature taking at these temperature hubs, at these transport hubs, I beg your pardon. Three, to control the occupancy rate on the vehicles to make sure that there's enough scattered seating and that there are also isolation areas if there's a need that arises. Four is to register and trace all passengers to facilitate contact tracing later on. And fifth, to make sure that all workers on public transport systems are adequately equipped and have knowledge of hygiene and sanitation practices.
Lynette, meanwhile, cities remain on lockdown. People are being told to stay indoors. What's happening on the ground?
At the moment, I'm hearing what I'm piecing together from local Chinese friends and expat friends, a picture of confusion and some chaos. 24 out of 31 provinces are due to resume work on the 10th of February, as that's when the official public holiday ends. And yet, many people, especially those in some cities in nearby Zhejiang province, near to Shanghai, still remain in lockdown. There are no clear ways for them to get back to their places of work. The roads are closed, and they're unsure whether they can get back to work on time. At the same time, we also know that many people who have the means of home working or remote working have opted to do so in order to wait out the worst of the virus outbreak. So there's a lot of confusion right now. Also, the migrant workers that are basically the backbone of the courier services and food delivery services. Many of them are unable to return to these major cities like Shanghai, and people have had difficulty getting groceries, getting food. Many people have had to venture out to do their shopping themselves, which is kind of against the government's advice as well. At the same time, there's a shortage of masks and protective gear, so people want to ration it. I think there's still a lot of confusion as the implementation kinks get ironed out and people get a better sense of how they are supposed to abide by certain rules and guidelines. Even also among those that have successfully returned to the cities, to the places where they work, some of them have reportedly facing discrimination. One family from Wuhan reportedly got barricaded by their neighbors and weren't allowed to go out. People were just sending food to them via a basket that they dropped down from a higher floor. So a lot of trust in society needs to be rebuilt at the moment, and a lot of fear. Authorities are definitely taking measures to reassure them, but it will take time and it will definitely get worse before it can get better.
Some very distressing information there. Lynette, thank you very much for that update on the situation coming out of China. That was our correspondent there, Lynette Lim, who's been covering developments on the novel coronavirus outbreak.